There's a version of you that already exists not in the mirror but in your potential. This version of you walks into a room and people feel calm, decisions become clearer, problems feel smaller. People listen not because they're told to, but because they trust. That version of you is a leader. Not because of a title, not because of power, but because of who you've become. This is the story of how to become that person. Let me tell you about Arun. Arun was quiet, the kind of person who avoided speaking in meetings when others argued. He stayed silent. When decisions needed to be made, he waited for someone else. He believed something many people believe. I'm not a natural leader. So he stayed in the background, safe, invisible, until one day everything changed. His team was given a high-stakes project. Their manager suddenly left no replacement, no instructions, just a deadline. Chaos began. People argued, tasks overlapped, deadlines slipped. Arun watched it all unfold, and for the first time he asked himself a different question. What if leadership isn't something you are, but something you do? That question changed everything. Leadership doesn't start when someone gives you authority. It starts the moment you take responsibility. Arun didn't suddenly become confident, he didn't transform overnight, but he did one small thing. He stepped forward and said, "Let's organize this." That was it. Not a speech, not a grand vision, just a decision. He created a simple list of tasks, asked people what they were working on, started connecting the dots. Something surprising happened. People listened. Not because he was the smartest, but because he cared enough to act. Leadership begins with ownership. When something is broken, don't wait, step in. At first, Arun thought leadership meant giving answers, but he quickly realized something. The best leaders don't talk first, they listen first. He began asking simple questions. What do you think is the biggest challenge? What's slowing you down? What would make this easier? People opened up. One teammate admitted they were overwhelmed, another said they didn't understand the goal, someone else had a better idea, but had been too hesitant to share. Arun didn't fix everything. He simply listened, and something powerful happened. The team began to trust him, because listening says something words never can. You matter. If you want people to follow you, start by hearing them. The project was still messy. Too many ideas, too many opinions, too much confusion. Arun realized something critical. Confusion kills momentum. So he did something simple. He defined 3 things. What are we trying to achieve? What matters most right now? What's the next step? That's it. Suddenly, the chaos began to settle. People didn't need perfect plans. They needed clarity. A leader's job is not to make things complicated, it's to make things clear. There was a moment when everything almost fell apart. A major mistake was discovered. The timeline was at risk. The team panicked. Blame started spreading. Voices got louder. Arun felt fear rise inside him. He wanted to step back to stay silent again. But this time he didn't. He said, "Let's stop blaming, let's fix this together." His voice wasn't loud, it wasn't perfect, but it was steady. And that was enough. The team paused and followed. Courage in leadership isn't about being fearless. It's about showing up even when you are afraid. Arun didn't become a leader because of one moment. He became a leader because of many small, consistent actions. Showing up prepared, following through on promises, checking in on teammates, staying calm under pressure. Day after day. No shortcuts, no magic, just consistency. Over time, people stopped seeing him as the quiet guy. They started seeing him as the one we can rely on. And that is leadership. Trust is built in small moments repeated over time. One day, something unexpected happened. A teammate approached Arun and said, "I think I can handle leading the next phase." Old Arun might have hesitated. New Arun smiled and said, "Go for it, I've got your back." That moment changed everything. Because true leadership is not about being the center, it's about creating more leaders. Arun started encouraging others, letting them take ownership, supporting their ideas. The team didn't weaken, it became stronger. A great leader doesn't create followers, they create more leaders. Not everything went perfectly. There were missed deadlines, miscommunications, frustrations. Arun made mistakes too. But instead of hiding them, he faced them. He asked, "What went wrong? What can we learn? How do we improve?" The team followed his example. Failure stopped being something to fear. It became something to learn from. Leadership isn't about avoiding failure, it's about growing through it. Arun noticed something important. Projects don't fail because of tasks. They fail because of people. Stress, ego, misunderstanding. So he focused on something deeper, understanding emotions. He learned to recognize when someone was overwhelmed. He learned when to push and when to support. He learned that sometimes what people need most isn't direction, it's encouragement. The best leaders don't just manage work, they understand people. As the project neared completion, Arun did something new. He shared a vision, not just what they were doing, but why it mattered. He reminded the team who they were helping, what impact they were making, why their work mattered. Something shifted. The work became more meaningful. Energy increased, because people don't just work for tasks, they work for purpose. A leader gives people a reason to care. When the project succeeded, praise came. From management, from clients. People congratulated Arun, but he didn't take the spotlight. He said, "This was all of us," and he meant it. Because leadership is not about being above others, it's about lifting others. True leaders don't need to prove they're important, they make others feel important. Months later, a new manager joined the company. In the first team meeting, they asked, "Who's been leading this team?" Everyone looked at Arun, not because he was assigned, but because he had become it. Quietly, gradually, authentically. Arun realized something. He never became a leader in a single moment. He grew into one. Through choices, through actions, through mindset. And so can you. Now let's come back to you. You don't need permission to lead. You don't need a title. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. Start by taking responsibility. Start by listening. Start by bringing clarity. Start by showing courage. Start small. Because leadership is not a destination. It's a daily decision. Every conversation, every challenge, every moment. You have two choices: wait for someone else to lead, or become the person others are waiting for. There is a leader inside you, not loud, not perfect, but real. And the world doesn't need more perfect leaders, it needs more real ones. People who care, people who try, people who show up. So take the step. Speak when it matters, act when it's needed, and lead not because you have to, but because you choose to.